Mga kabisay, try natin NBL Live kung gagana ba siya. Ayan natin dito. Yan. Yan. Okay ba siya? Hindi naman siya maklaro. Parang hindi. Hindi siya maano. Tawag ito. Malabo. Ano ko nga din eh.
Shop NBAStore.com now for the best selection of Nets and Clippers gear. Choose some jerseys, t-shirts, hats, and more. NBAStore.com. A Fanatics experience. Kawhi Leonard off to an excellent start. Guarded well by Jeff Green. Marcus Morris just checked into the game with the ball.
Hindi siya maano. Paano yun? Paano yun? Paano ba yun? Ano tayo iba?
Championship in the bubble. They meet again tonight under much different circumstances. Both teams trying to find some momentum. Tip-off at Staples Center is at 5:30 over on ABC. As we say hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers, alongside the Hall of Famer, Big Game, James Worthy, our Lakers Insider, Mike Bresnahan. I am Allie Clifton. Mike Trudell will join us in a moment from Staples Center, guys. And Gator, Geeter may not be here today, but I can hear him bemoan the fact that the Lakers have been getting beaten at the three-point line a lot recently. As we go inside access, we're diving right in. The Lakers were second in the NBA in three-point percentage in December, making nearly 42%. They outshot their opponents that month and in January. But the tables have turned this month. The Lakers are last in the NBA, making 29% from deep. Opponents are making over 37% in February. What does that mean? The Lakers are being outscored by 15 points per game behind the three-point line this month. James, Big A, what concerns you? Their shooting is getting worse from deep, or that opponent's shooting is getting better as the season progresses?
I can't go one without the other. I'm going to have to say both. Very concerning. Yeah. Because, the fact that the opponents are getting more shots means that your defense is also lacking something. And they're not able to play the defense they need. And I kind of understand, even the shots that they're getting wide open aren't falling. But I kind of understand they don't have AD. Even when they did, it was, trending downward, which means that, either they're really fatigued a little bit, they have not had quality practice time to still incorporate, Wes Matthews and all the other guys that are new.
Let's go!
It's a big game.
Nag-NBA live today.
They throw zones
Andito ako, guys. Andito ako.
They're always double teaming or triple team AD, making it.
Andito ako. Live tayo ngayon.
That's the flow of
Andito ako. Try natin yung NBA live.
And they're still winning. But they're winning with the
Try natin yung NBA live, guys. Mga kabisoy, what's out? Shout out. Try natin yung NBA live is gagana ba siya? Gagana ba siya? So, I'll try. Try natin. Replay natin yung Miami sa LAKERS.
At the point you say, wow, they haven't been this good behind the arc in a long
Hindi
time.
natin napanood to eh. Subscribe natin ha.
There also has to be maybe a little regression towards the mean. All right? Did I
Yan.
think it'd be this poor, last in the
Let's go.
NBA in February? No. But true reality is somewhere in between. Are they the second or third best team behind the arc? No. But definitely not almost to the bottom of it. But I do have a little bit of optimism. Wesley Matthews shared it with me during a Zoom chat post-game the other day. And there were other writers on it as well. And they were kind of asking about the team struggles behind the three-point line. And he said, this is just a blip on our season. All you writers out there, you're going to stop writing about this pretty soon because the Lakers will get hot again.
Yeah, they don't.
Optimism.
It's a big difference when you have two players that demand double team. When you have AD and LeBron, is when you go to one. No one's going to double team Trez. No one's going to double team anybody else. So they stay at home a lot more, and they don't stunt. They don't have that loose defense. So they'll work it out. TNT, he'll learn how to. They got to learn how to collapse the defense more with their guard play now to pop out.
You ever admonish the writers like that? You writers are going to stop writing this. You ever admonish them back in the day?
Did I have what?
Did you ever admonish them to kind of tell them you're going to stop writing about this?
Nah, I would just ignore them. Okay, they know when I had enough.
Okay.
Look, the Lakers have an opportunity to turn it around tonight, guys, because the Heat are number one in the league at protecting the paint. They only allow 40 points, and you know how much the Lakers love to get downhill.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have those opportunities from beyond the arc tonight. So hopefully they can start
Take advantage of it.
Turning it around. Exactly. For the latest on the finals rematch, let's go live to Staples Center. Lakers reporter Mike Trudell is there. And we say hello. Hey, Mike.
Hey guys, welcome to Staples Center. Now, you were just talking about the three-point shooting. It reminds me a lot of last season, where basically the entire season, everybody seemed to be worrying about the threes, and that just was not an issue in the bubble, and especially as things got later in the playoff rounds. This year, they're shooting, again, just to me, it's a little bit more about heavy legs, tired legs, some guys being out, and that kind of that lethargy almost setting in that they're trying to find a solution to. Now, for tonight's game, the solution that you're going to try to find has to do with playmaking, because not only do you have no shooter, you have no Anthony Davis. So that's where we started with Frank Vogel a couple of moments ago.
Well, we're a team first team. Obviously, Bron, handles the bulk of the playmaking, whoever's out there. But we have plenty of action, plenty of sets and actions to get our guys in to create offense. And everybody's empowered a little bit more when we have somebody like Anthony out, when we have somebody like Dennis out.
And Frank, you went to Quinn Cook for some minutes. Do you like the potential of the screen role with him and Montrez, or are there any particular actions you see that he can become and help you in this kind of a spot?
Yeah, Quinn can definitely help us offensively for sure. He can handle in pick and rolls. He can also be a screen and pop guy with LeBron, a second size spacer, and definitely have confidence in Quinn.
Is there any information you can give us that on Dennis's absence, either what the nature of it is, or what hurdles he might have to clear to come back, or what timeline he might come back?
Yeah, the only thing I can tell you is health and safety protocols, and we do have a more firm timeline that it'll be a minimum of the next 3 games, tonight's game and the next 2, and we'll see after that.
Yeah, so you heard that right there from Frank Vogel, guys, just thinking about the time that Dennis Schroeder is going to be out for sure. Another 2 to 3, or actually 2 more games on top of tonight, so they at least know what's going to happen, right? Last game, Frank heard an hour before the game how he was going to figure out what the direction of the team was going to be, what the rotation was going to be. That's not easy, so that should be a little bit better tonight against the Heat.
Hold on, adjusting on the fly. Maybe we'll see a little Quinn Cook.
Ooh.
Well done as always. Thanks so much, Mike.
Let's go mga kabisoy. Ano na natin
Kailan ba itong Duncan Robinson,
kahapon?
shooting 39%
Hindi ko
this year. Lakers
nakita.
gave up 18 threes against the Nets on Thursday. So you may want to stay on that guy. And coming up on Access, no one in the NBA has played more minutes since last January than LeBron. And with 2 starters down, that probably isn't changing. We'll have more on what could be his 5th NBA.
Shout out.
Mickey, look at this Photoshop. Courtesy of my Bumble. Gator.
Yeah, he does have a little gator look from time to time.
Gator,
I like that.
Gator. Love it. Shout out.
Gator.
Give me some heat.
They're all special in their own right. They all have their obstacles, things that went on throughout the course of the year, both on and off the floor. But one is not less than the other. Because when you're able to put yourself in this position to be able to win a championship, the first thing you start to think about is how much work you've put in. No matter what I've done in my career up to this point, there's still a little rumblings of doubt. James drives, James finishes. James drives, goes inside and throws it down. This historic 2020 NBA championship belongs to the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron James wins his 4th title. It's good to be king. Personally, thinking I had something to prove. The Finals MVP is LeBron James. It don't matter where it is. You win a championship. You're one of the greatest feelings in the world.
LeBron got his 4th ring back in October. Can you believe that he hasn't won a regular season MVP award since 2013? Well, it's true. He was with the Heat that season, and his numbers 8 years ago are pretty similar to this season, guys. Check it out. For the now 36-year-old, it's pretty wild. Besides percentages maybe being a little higher, then it was still 8 years ago. I literally wrote the words LOL on my paper.
As you should.
So big game. Maybe it's a case of LeBron fatigue. We've heard that often for the voters, but this season they have to take notice. And especially now without AD and Schroeder, the load just gets that much bigger.
Yeah, that graphic, that comparison that we just saw right there, he should get it just for that alone.
Just for that alone.
The 8-year difference. It's incredible. I mean, if you just let, if you let former MVPs vote on this alone and just let them vote, he would get the respect. Not that he's not respected, but I think in the media world, like every generation, people come around. Brez, you can speak to this, and they see new players and they get a little fatigue. That's the only thing I can think of because the numbers don't lie.
Yeah, no doubt, James. I mean, the numbers are crazy. I mean, this guy really has discovered the modern day fountain of youth. I want to know what he's doing. I don't have the $1 million to put in my body every year like he does to make sure that he is doing the right things and staying healthy and staying fit. But I keep going back to the MVP vote last season. Giannis was a runaway train. He got 86 out of 101 first place votes. LeBron got only 15. That's not cool. even back then we were kind of like, all right, Giannis maybe should be the MVP, but why is LeBron getting such little attention from the media panel? I think they'll remember that. If I had a vote, I definitely would remember that, and he definitely deserves it this season.
It is so hard to do what he is doing.
Yeah.
The sacrifice that he makes for his body, the mental toughness. Most guys, when you get to like 14, and we see guys in their 14 year, they're just kind of, they're just kind of walking around, get that pension plan, come in, do a couple things. Not saying that they're not effective, but this guy, what he's had to do to get to this, I've never seen.
That was not you towards the end of your career.
It wasn't me.
Not at all.
And the one thing that always stands out to me is the consistency. And you check this one out because with another 15, 5, and 5 games.
Shout out Busing! Shout out Busing! Kini may mayo. Try natin, Busing. Try.
Scoring of late has been harder for him to come by at the three-point line.
Basta Busing vlog,
Yeah,
Busing vlog. Kamusta, kamusta?
LeBron in particular behind the arc, 27% in February.
Try ito ba? Try.
He was really good at it earlier in the season. We were laughing, having a good time, showing all the logo threes, and he was killing it behind the arc. So many easy points for pretty much the entire team, but that really has kind of dried up and gone away lately for him. He's not immune to it. And James, you kind of hit on it earlier. With no AD, it's going to be even harder for LeBron to maybe get some around the perimeter.
Foto ka ni tambay tani.
Salamat
Busing, salamat. What. Medyo malabo lang kaunti. Pero okay na, makita-kita na siya.
It's an area of this game he really has worked on, and it was quick in the first month and a half of the season, not the last few
Do
weeks.
you remember MJ being this effective when he was the Washington Wizard?
No. I mean, it's crazy. It's like you were saying. A lot of guys had the walkers their last year or two in the league.
Don't talk about my walker.
We hide that.
Not you, James. Certainly not.
Diyan na lang, Busing. Medyo malabo siya.
Our former Sportsnet colleague, Karan Butler. He'll tell us what it's been like to move into the coaching world. He's getting his Miami Heat players ready for tonight's game. Always good.
I think he misses us.
Plus, Kyle Kuzma. He's become an imposing presence on the offensive glass. Next, we'll show you how he's changed his game to fit the needs of this team. Access Sportsnet Lakers is brought to you in part by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Seasons, he was averaging fewer than one offensive rebound per game. This season, he's more than doubled that, just under 2 offensive boards per game. And the corresponding bump in his percentage of points scored on second chance opportunities, a career best 18% this season. Cruz was asked how he's adapted his game this season.
I don't really get the ball as much, so I got to figure out ways to just impact it and figure out ways just to, be on the court for this team. Obviously, I'm a small forward, power forward, and those two positions are the 2 best players in the league. So, it's going to be very scarce for me out there from an offensive standpoint. So, for me, got to figure out ways to.
4 million now, Sigulab. Shout out. Team na tayo, NBA.
Standing around and doing things. So, just trying to go out there and just compete and just see where the chips are.
I thought it was an interesting quote there. We haven't heard him say it this way yet this season. Kuz said that he was just a zombie standing around in the previous years, which you can't say about him anymore. His impact is noticeable, it's effective, and he's only getting better at it. As we just mentioned, over 2.5 offensive rebounds per game in the month of February. Big game, and especially without AD right now, he must continue that.
Yeah, he's been a big plus as far as his improvement is concerned. And the thing I love about Kuz is when you come to the NBA, you bring a lot of talent. Then you realize there's a lot of other talented players in here too to do the same thing. So you have to figure out a way. The only way you're going to score is if you're on the floor. If you go out there and put up a lot of shots, the coach doesn't like that, don't play defense, you're coming off the floor. But he's figured out how to stay on the floor, and he's done it by gradually becoming a better defensive player at all positions.
Busing, salamat, Busing nga. Busing, kapatid. Busing, vlog. Salamat, Busing.
He's a willing passer all of a sudden. But the big thing he's doing is rebound. And, he's become a double-double guy. And then blocking shots. He's very good. Michael Jordan used to be really good. and allowing you to make your move, and then coming from the weak side and blocking shots that way. So he's learned how to stay on the floor by doing all the intangible things, and then now he's learned the way to score by getting extra rebounds, getting out on the break, blocking shots. So that's the key, is learning how to stay out there, doing all things the coaches want you to do so that you can remain out there. And now he's learning other aspects of the game.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting if you look at Kuz last season. He seemed like kind of a dejected guy. He really struggled that first month. He didn't say anything publicly, but you could tell he's like, all right, I'm not LeBron's buddy anymore, his best friend. That goes to that guy AD, and rightly so. He's a pretty good player in his own right. But I think I give Kuz a lot of credit for really kind of adjusting on the fly, starting to realize, all right, I'm not going to be a 19-point scorer like he was his second year. His numbers have dropped dramatically scoring-wise since that campaign. But there you have it right there. A better, more well-rounded game. Gotta love what he's doing. I've never thought I'd say this, but he is a double-double threat.
I was just going to say,
court these days.
best version?
Yeah.
Best version?
Yeah.
We've seen of Kuz since coming into the league?
Well, it's tempting, Allie, to look back to his first year. He kind of lit up everyone when he scored 38 against Houston. Laker fans kind of went nuts. Who is this guy? It was kind of fun just to watch him that entire season. Late first-round pick, nobody was expecting anything. But then that second year, he was even better. He averaged almost 19 a game. He scored 41 in Detroit, 39 in Philly. It's like, wow, this guy, he could be like a 20-something point a game scorer. But still, I like this season better. Throw away the scoring. You've got two guys. If you throw in Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell, four guys who can consistently score. What Kuz is doing, everything besides scoring, it makes this his best season.
And what's cool right now is that he's learned how to do that, because we came in here, we talked about him being the third wheel, and he could put up big numbers.
Yeah.
He could put up big numbers. Now that AD's out, now he can add that to all this other good stuff he's been doing, rebounding, blocking shots, passing. He can go back to scoring now.
Right.
He know he can do that. So that's the beauty of it. You always got your bread and butter that you came here with, and with AD out, he's going to get volume of shots.
And the scoring's still in the back pocket.
Yeah, he might run better when he wants.
He hasn't forgot about that.
It's still
Tip-off between the Lakers and Heat will be in about 30 minutes over on ABC. Monster Treads with AD out is going to be seeing a lot more minutes. He's averaging over 14 points a game this season. And next on Access, we're catching up with our old friend, the incomparable Caron Butler. He will tell us what it's like changing jobs from TV to coaching.
Yeah,
And
man.
how about this? Don't talk about my walker.
Talk about my Walker brand. It's coming for you, brother.
I look pretty determined right there.
Keep on having birthday.
So does James.
Don't get that Walker.
I think
You're
James
going
will
to
win
get that
that one.
walker.
Oh, James, give me. Shout out, kapatid. Shout out. Thumbs up. Salamat.
Wings of the Los Angeles Lakers. Get exclusive Wingstop offers and Lakers swag on the Lakers app.
Are you ready to sink your teeth into it?
Lakers and Heat tip off at 5:30. Here's what you need to know. The Lakers will be without Anthony Davis and Dennis Schroeder for the second game in a row. AD will miss his third game after suffering a calf strain and aggravating the Achilles tendinosis in his right leg against the Nuggets. Schroeder will miss his second in a row due to the NBA's health and safety protocols. The Lakers won't make excuses, however, but not having two starters hurt their chances. They've lost two of their last three games. Both the Nuggets and Nets beat them by double figures. The Lakers lost just once by double digits over their first 27 games. Look for LeBron James to shoulder the load for the purple and gold again tonight against the Heat. The King averaged just over 28 points and 7 assists against his former team. And the Heat are currently 2-3 on their 7-game road trip. They beat the Kings.
Oh, injury yun, bro. Injury yun si Anthony Davis. Hindi makapaglaro yun.
16, 12, and 10, while Jimmy Butler
Achilles siya,
went
Achilles
13,
injury.
10, and 13. It's the first time this
Tagal-tagal pa magano yun. Matagal-tagal pa magpahinga.
Butler has a streak of 3 straight triple doubles. Which leads us to this big game. We saw it in the finals. Jimmy Butler is every bit the superstar. He had similar
LeBron
numbers
nakakayod
to
ngayon.
LeBron over that 6-game series, of course. The Lakers won and LBJ took home the MVP, but Butler may have won over some of the doubters there in the finals big game. We watched it.
Tagal-tagal yun, bro. Dun sa laban nila sa Denver.
For some time,
Ano
his
siya?
exit in
Injury.
Philadelphia, where there was always a little bit of, conversation about
Was he the guy that could lead? But when he got to Miami, where Ben, around Pat Riley too, who's been there and done that, knows how to convey and give guys, the opportunity to go. He showed us who he really was. I always liked this game. I always liked, his attitude toward the game. He just had to find the right home to be in. And with Miami, they allowed him to lead and allowed him to play the way he, can play, which is, full out great defense, offensive threat every time he touches the ball, led by example and verbally. One of the first times we've ever seen him like truly lead to full capacity was last season in Miami. And my hat's off to him for keeping patient, not, you're getting too upset and blaming and all that kind of thing. He's a solid elite player in this league.
Russ, we're going to dive in to him in just a minute. But first, Big Game, did you see this? Given that it's Hollywood here, Jimmy's acting skills, they could be a factor today. This was a week ago. He really tried to sell that. Flop. He's got such a good personality. It's so fun.
It reminds me of the guy that fake falling down the stairs and coming to America to avoid paying his rent. He'd get up and look around too.
James, you got some acting credits. You're on Star Trek. That's a pretty good job right there.
That's pretty good. It's not close to my performance.
No, of course
that's
not.
pretty good there.
When it comes to the Miami Heat guys, as a whole, Brett, they've been hit with the COVID protocols.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler especially. He missed 10 games to start the season, and they're just starting to get healthy, but it's been a hard year for them. It's hard to play to their record.
Yeah. I mean, there's several games under 500. They're 1-11 against teams with winning records. That pretty much says it all right there. But like you said, a lot of missed games for these guys. Butler missed a big chunk of time. Goran Dragic has only played about half their games. Tyler Hero has even missed about a third of their games. So there's some good news here for these guys. I mean, like you said, Jimmy Butler, 3 triple-doubles in a row. By the way, he'd already set the franchise record with 2 triple-doubles in a row, and then he went and got the third the other night. So he's playing great. They've got good athletes. We know that. But there's that game against Golden State, kind of a weird anomaly there. Miami never trailed in regulation, but somehow lost that game in OT. So there are just strange things going on with this team.
Wild.
And they've lost a few in a row. There's before beating Sacramento the other day. They got some issues.
1-11 versus teams over 500.
Yeah, right. That's rough.
Like the Lakers, the Heat are different on the court, but they're also different on the bench this season, as we know. Well, the last couple of seasons, as an analyst here at Spectrum Sportsnet, decided to join the coaching ranks. He's bringing his 14 seasons of playing experience and his never-ending energy and enthusiasm to the Heat as a first-year assistant coach. We, of course, miss him here, but he's doing great. And Geeter checked in with Karan yesterday.
Karan, it's crazy, right? 4 months ago, you were here, and we were all celebrating together this Lakers championship. Does that seem like yesterday or a lifetime ago for you?
Man, it seemed like it was last week, actually. You know what I mean? But, hey, I'm here, and I'm back in the grind, and just evaluating the game with you and Big Game and Ali and Brands, and going through like the formats and the preparation, and then all of a sudden being on the sideline now is just a different element to it. But I'm so blessed to be able to do what I'm doing.
Listen, man, for all of us that know you and consider you, a friend or family, we know what a teacher you are. So when you made a dramatic shift in your career, it wasn't surprising. But listen, you're a rising media personality. You're doing so many other great business ventures, and then all of a sudden you're coaching. How long ago did you start thinking you wanted to get into that profession?
Immediately when I was on the verge of transitioning, I always wanted to get into coaching. And, that's one of the things that I felt like I was doing from the color standpoint, just educating and, just giving people my observation of the game in a fun way, but, still speaking truth to the fact and to the points. And now I think it's beyond X and O's. I think the most important thing on the sideline is needed and desperate right now, desperate need for like many teams and organizations is mentorship.
Gimme.
On the sideline, to be in the locker room and provide that observation is, everything that I always wanted to be doing.
Hey, I know we all feel it here. We feel like we lost a mentor, but I'm happy for all those Heat players, man, for real. Like, it's awesome that you are in their lives. I truly think that they really appreciate it. And listen, man, to go into coaching, you know I'm undefeated sitting in this chair, right? I've never lost a game. The streak is still intact. You know that, right?
Hey, man, you undefeated?
I'm undefeated. You know, it's hard losing, isn't it, man? You get some losses.
Hey, Rick, I'm telling you, man, it's part of it, man. It's a grind, man. But, you know, every time I used to come in there, like even, you know, during the hard days and during the hard moments, you know what I mean? Like, you was always, like, you know, breathing life into all of us. And your energy is just, like, so transparent. So, you know, I appreciate you for, you know, being a big brother on that platform and just ushering me down that path and helping me just be the best version of me on that platform. So thank you, brother.
Oh, man, are you kidding me? Thank you so much. That means more than you probably will ever know. Hey, I got to ask you, how did this opportunity with the Heat present itself? Was it Riles? Who came to you?
You know, it was a combination of Spo and Riles that reached out, and, you know, it really happened, I think, from watching us, you know, evaluate the game. And Riles had reached out and said, you know, it's a great opportunity, and Spo, and we've been reaching out and connected for quite some time over the last probably 3-4 years. And it just so happened that I was just like, you know what? All right, let's do it. Yeah, and you miss the chances and the shots that you don't take. And I felt like this is a great opportunity to just, you know, go out there, put yourself on the limb and do it. And I'm glad I did.
Oh, man, that is so awesome. So you're telling me your legendary Access 360 breakdowns, which we loved around here, are part of you getting that job. I hope they send you to the wall when you're breaking it down for the players.
Hey, man, I go to the wall and I break down film, and, you know, we do all the things, you know, same thing that we used to do in the studio, man, and, you know, it's in-person, in-depth, and, you know, just the teaching component of it is just, man, it gives you so much fulfillment, man, in real time, and it really does.
You know, you were cemented here in this area. For you to make a decision, your son plays UC Irvine.
Salamat, bossing, ha? Bossing, salamat.
With the family and make this move. Was it difficult?
Bossing, salamat,
Yeah,
bossing.
you know what? It was because it's a different career, and it demands a different type of energy and focus from you. But at the same time, I always had a location in Miami, so the transition from a movement standpoint was easy. But it is more demanding on your energy and your time, and it is time consuming. But at the same time, it's something that I'm passionate about, so I don't feel like I'm really doing real work. Now, I hope Pat Riley's not watching that, because he might die for saying that. But, you know, man, he's serious about those things in detail. But I really just enjoy what I'm doing, so I don't feel like it's, you know, draining or anything. Like, it truly is a blessing.
Tough Juice, I might know this answer, but I'm curious still to hear it. What's been the most enjoyable part of coaching for you so far?
Hey, man, just pouring into the guys, man, like the mentorship part. And just, you know, watching Jimmy, watching Tyler, you know, he's from Wisconsin, my home state. And just, you know, talking to him, Duncan Robinson, Precious Achua, Bam, you know, you name it, all the guys, man, on down. And we have a group that's just receiving and want to be great students. And they're always raising their hand, as they say in class, you know, trying to learn new lessons. So it's an amazing feeling.
And listen, Karan, you spent a couple seasons as a player with the Heat before being traded to the Lakers. The players have changed, but is it still the same organization and culture that you remember? Because you used to talk about it so fondly, and you kind of just touched on it a moment ago.
Yeah, I wear the shirt all the time everywhere I go. It's all about culture. It really is. And I think that, you know, everything that I was about coming into the league and what I'm about in my life, you know, it stems from, you know, playing from some of the best organizations in professional sports, and that's the Miami Heat and Los Angeles Lakers. And, you know, when you get the privilege and the opportunity and blessed to, you know, put on that red and black and put on that purple and gold and, you know, take some of the lessons and add it into the fabric of who you are as a person, as a human being, and be able to transcend it into, you know, real life, I think that's paramount. That means everything. And I had the luxury and the privilege to, you know, work for both of these organizations. So just, you know, doing things the right way and going about it. I'm like I said, I use blessed a lot, but I'm humbled and I'm blessed.
We love Tough Juice. Such a class act. Great chat there with he and Peter. We're getting closer to tip-off. Marc Gasol, like LeBron, has played and started every game this season for the Lake Show. He had 8 points and hit 2 threes against Brooklyn. And next on Access, we're going one-on-one with THT. You should get some more opportunities for playmaking in the coming games as we go to break. Who remembers this from Game 4?
So makes his move. Drives again, back to Davis. Davis for three.
Anthony Davis with the dagger, and the Lakers lead 191 with 39 seconds to go. Lights out.
As big as he can get right there.
Met napunta kay ano.
This is
Nalipad natin, napunta kay Kobe. Kobe Saya. Okay na. Wala na tuloy. Yun lang live ko eh. Atay uy.
Well, Kawhi and PG, like I said, PG is playing really well right now, shooting at 47% from three. But who has kind of stood out to you the most on the offensive side of the ball for those two?
You know, I'm not making excuses for him, but it would be Paul George, right? And I'm going to refer to him as playoff P, even though he hasn't really stepped up in the playoffs. But I think the difference between playoff P and pandemic P is what we saw this offseason for him. This has been the first time where I feel like Paul George has been in the light, where he's been criticized nonstop about his lack of knocking down big-time shots in the playoffs. And also, I'm going to throw this in there, Jay Rose. He talked last year about having depression and dealing with anxiety that came along with the bubble, him coming off that shoulder injury. I think we're finally seeing Paul George healthy and somebody who mentally just is in the space where he's finally competing at a high level and he's confident in who he is, trending towards the playoff P that we thought we would see last year. Maybe we'll see him this year in the playoffs.
Well, it feels like the Clippers have kind of found a different gear. Am I right in saying that from what we saw, the way the season ended last year? They won they're 5-1 in their last 6 games.
You're right. And the expectations this year are all the way down.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ty Lue. He's done a terrific job of managing, his first year with the team. But people like me hurt their ankle.
So,
Well, Kawhi and PG, like I said, PG is playing really well right now, shooting at 47% from 3. But who has kind of stood out to you the most on the offensive side of the ball for those two?
I'm not making excuses for him, but it would be Paul George, right? And I'm going to refer to him as playoff P, even though he hasn't really stepped up in the playoffs. But I think the difference between playoff P and pandemic P is what we saw this offseason for him. This has been the first time where I feel like Paul George has been in the light, where he's been criticized nonstop about his lack of knocking down big-time shots in the playoffs. And also, I'm going to throw this in there, Jay Rose. He talked last year about having depression and dealing with anxiety that came along with the bubble, him coming off that shoulder injury. I think we're finally seeing Paul George healthy and somebody who mentally just...
Starting lineups in Brooklyn for the Clippers. Nikola Batum.
Yeah, they've been as hot as any team, as you say right now. Just so focused, kind of has their hard hats on as
Changes, neither on a big contract, but...
salamat idol, Norms. Thank you.
Steve Durant, hand in his face. He bears have a half-game lead over Utah and the Lakers, intercepted by Green. Harden taps it ahead, and Leonard comes away with it. On the attack, Leonard
there's only been, I think, history of that stat. And what the Clippers have done is they've been able to keep the Nets out of the paint. Posting up more this season, Bird. He's getting to his spots, the diversity of finding him, and he's been effective.
What Serge Ibaka has meant to this team on both ends of the floor. Off the spin, Ibaka, the float. Weaves it in there to Kyrie Irving. In transition, the Euro. Paul tuning in for Patrick Beverly. Ball gets knocked around and the Nets have it. Oh, crisp pass. Joe Harris with the
It stops if you're Brooklyn.
There's Leonard. He's got the matchup with Irving, and he connects from the
On the perimeter. They're not penetrating that defense. LA doing a masterful job as Paul George.
LA coming off a 129-115 win over the Knicks on Sunday afternoon.
Got up a little slow.
Leonard, one-on-one. Durant rises up, cans it. 22.2 points per game. Having a catch, Harden and Irving. That's a 3. Harden loops it ahead. Irving lost it for a moment, walks the tightrope, turns the corner, and blocked by Leonard.
Impressive.
So Nets trail 20-11. Durant right down the middle high. No good. Rebound foot 4. George in the right spot. One dribble, blocked by Lawawu Cabarro. And it's out of bounds. Snatched by Harden. Harden, bump, flip, off the window.
% more efficient this year than last year. And I think he's having the best season of his career. Just tremendous.
Leonard back in on Brown. Leonard, kick. Jackson, a 3.
Three-pointer. He's shooting almost 40% from the three-point line this year. So efficient from downtown.
Kyrie Irving,
Okay, I thought you did your homework. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I missed that one. He's a dookie. Nice. Williams crosses.
Shout out, boss idol, Norms. Lombaring salamat, idol. Salamat.
It's a 3-2-22.
Thank you. NBA muna tayo, NBA.
To Jordan for the jam. Deep for these games. I just locked myself in my basement. Joe Harris connect. It is 5. Phillip, Morris, and Shamit. Harris back to back? No. Slapped out of there by Jordan. Good save. Harris is not shy.
Harden really sold it well to the officials.
Jordan catch and slam.
These guys to continue doing the little things that have helped get him back into this game. But LAKERS this season playing defense. But right now, here early in the second, they've been pretty solid. Oh, Zubac backs off, and now he hedges.
Magandang dilag. Asan yung ano ko eh? Teka lang, hanap akong NBA para masaya tayo. Magandang dilat. Nawala dito eh. NBA Live. Sleepy na ka, host? Agay. Hindi pa. Naro. Ay, ka lang. Hanap tayong live talaga po. May signal ko. Okay.
To the officials. Jordan catching slam. He's guarded. Got a gang rebound. These guys to continue doing the little things that have helped get them back into this game, but that's been their challenge this season, playing defense. But right now here, early in the second, they've been pretty solid. Zubac backs off, and now he hedges. Lupin, jam for Jordan.
5 million in the house. We love shout out. Shout out.
Here's Williams with 6 to shoot.
Ayun.
Mismatch off the dribble. He got Durant to commit. Leaves it. Streaking Batum for an easy 2.
Salamat, Mador. Thank you, Mador, ha. 5 million dollars. We love shout out.
Isolation for George. Cross. What a fine Batum. 45-41. Durant pull up. Can't stop it. It takes tough ones. Grant, he is 4 of 4 from the field. 9 points. George creating space. And Reggie Jackson the rebound. Ibaka back in. Jackson gets his. That Paul may have needed to hear from last year to this year. Irving, high stepping for Batum. Leonard, kick. Morris a 3. He's got it. And that was something that T. Lue talked about. Kawhi Leonard this year doing a better job of getting into the paint, drawing the defense and finding shooters for the open 3. Ibaka, Kyrie Irving, denied on the inside. Morris, corner J, finding the open Morris Sr. in the corner. Great camera angle there. Jackson is there. Reggie Jackson missed it on reverse. Harden on a lead feed. Irving gets to the rim. Oh, beautiful English from Kyrie Irving. Strong offensive rebound for Ibaka. They are out rebounding the Nets 23-15, and Ibaka, Reggie Jackson can't hit the 3. Weak side rebound. Harden looks ahead. Harris the catch.
Hindi man tuloy-tuloy sa ako ay.
On the inside.
Siya kuhan.
Harden got a little body from Jackson, and Harden Euro to the rim. Nets can hold for 1 with 14 seconds left. Irving late. Let's see if the Nets can withstand this third quarter surge by the Clippers. Irving first lead of the 58. Nets. Jackson feeds inside. Irving scraping at the ball. Leonard finds himself underneath with nobody. Posting up Kawhi Leonard more. He's posting up on 16% of his offensive plays this year, taking advantage of the mismatch. I love the competition on the defensive side of the ball from the Clippers. Durant the catch. Splash. Watch from KD. James Harden. Ibaka is there. Do not go in there on Serge Ibaka. George do not block. So this third quarter.
Clippers Brooklyn Nets.
On the defensive end, nothing easy. Paul George. There's not much you can do against that. Spin. Step back. Oh, that's nice. 67-63 Nets. George the drive. Help defense. Kyrie Irving. Leonard. He was 5 of 5, Grant. He has made just one of his last 6 attempts. George gets the bounce, putting some fear in the driver there. That contest. Driving kick. Ibaka, yes, a 3. In the playoffs, particularly against guys like Jokic and centers, if they're trying to win a championship. But you're right, Ibaka right now with 26 points in 22 minutes.
Ibaka.
Jumper goes there. I mean, he was one of the pioneers in that regard. So Irving falling out of bounds. Here's Leonard. A tall defender on Irving, and Leonard in transit, forcing and challenging a tough shot. Harden goes down. Luau Cabarro got it. A 3. Love the energy right now from the Brooklyn Nets, just competing on every possession. 76. Nets lead the Clippers. 3:32 to go. Third quarter. Durant, count it. Morris breaks away from Harden. Jordan rotates over. Zubac's trying to grab, and he saves it to Luau Cabarro. Oh, a skimmer! Durant! 82-79. Brooklyn. Leonard with a purpose. Count it. Side defended by Durant. Leonard. Oh, yeah. Double team. Ball movement leads to Williams. Shot clock winding down. They're taking a lot of time. Leonard connects for... And everybody on the Clippers touched the ball right there. Getting it back to Leonard. Irving. Selfishness. And get the momentum back in their favor. Leonard. No good. Smallest man on the court, Williams, grabs the loose ball. Zubac goes in with a sweeping wrap up the third quarter. George one-on-one with Luau Cabarro. Pull-up pop. He's got it, and it was a stunning loss to Washington. And he thought it was a huge step back defensively, not just the way it ended. Harden nailed. Landry Shamet, ball fake, kick. Harris, swing. Here's Harden. Teardrop, gets the overall minutes with Harden, Durant, and Irving, and they're nowhere near the top of the list as Morris hits the jump. So important. Paul George, hard drive, kick. Williams, the floater goes to. We are tied at 97. And the claw comes away with a steal in the second half. Clippers up by 2. George gets around Shamet, plus 4 lead to 5. George with 21 points. Durant, pull up, gets there. A bit, but forced Leonard into a tough shot. Kyrie Irving. Irving, pep in his step. Oh, the corkscrew! The 3, rebounded by Harris. Nets 7-0 run. Oh, Irving! But 2 misses on a 3-ball. We approach 4 minutes to go in the 4th. James Harden got a 3. Give the ball to Harden this time, and he able to finish and convert. But here's Leonard. Makes his move on the inside. Pump fake. Oh, the strength of Leonard. 29.
Punted.
Now Durant wants to get in on the act. Durant's jumper is good. Under 2 minutes to play. Durant wants to dance with Batum. A 3. Big time shot by KD. All you can say is wow. Batum answers with a triple. We're under a minute left. Morris wants to take it over Irving for 2. Baseball pass given
Misses there. Clippers have a chance for the two. Continues for three. But a foul. Clippers lead it back to the Lakers.
Brooklyn substitutes and makes themselves a different team.
Taglaan.
Game and a half back at Philadelphia in the East. The Los Angeles Lakers, 2-game.
And let's not forget now, the Lakers, as well as Miami, the two teams as Kuzma.
Your coach Steve Nash has his team at 18-12, a road record of 7-7. His saw wide open was Bruce Brown. Hit by a couple, kicks it back out, and they reload. Harden for three. 11 assists, the number one assist man in the NBA, and with it right here. Feeding and a nice floater inside will drop for Bruce Brown.
And he's actually averaged more since it's coming over from Houston to Brooklyn in these 16 games.
It's a team in the NBA. The Brooklyn Nets, the number one offensive team in the NBA. Kyrie Irving, as we've seen, it's been a part of all four of these wins. Third quarter defense in particular. Kuzma, three. Liner, but filling in around LeBron, filling in around Davis when he is healthy. Here's LeBron taking it in. Doubling Geysers have really opened a lot of eyes. 13-3, Laker record away from LA. Outside Harden defense, the rating defensively for the Nets is only number 25. Kuzma, three from the other corner, batted by Jeff Green. 11 assists a game for Harden. Look at him sneak his way inside. Games at home. Playing a short little 2 games on the road, losing Sunday in Denver, then winning in Minnesota. State. Outside, here goes Green from Harden. He'll take it across the lane.
I can play 1 through 5. You can play small ball with Jeff Green. What a pass there to Wes Matthews.
They were so excited to watch the Schroeder against Kyrie matchup tonight. Look away, Harden outside, Harden with the rebound. Harden so far has 8 with 3 assists and a couple boards. He'll take it in, and then
dog mentality in Bruce Brown. You called him what? Their undersized center?
Yep, about 6'3", 6'4". So we have the number one defense of the Lakers against the number one offense of the Nets. And DeAndre Jordan coming off the bench. Kyrie, the only starter on the floor. Here's LeBron. He's 2 of 3, 5 points. Working on Johnson. Tough shot. 40 3-point attempts. And the Nets hit 20 of them. That's a 3 from outside. Wawu Camero with a 3-point shot. 12 bench points right now for the Nets. And a try.
You know, Caldwell Pope was limping to the locker room as well. So that's a third starter that potentially could be down for Frank Vogel. As
now they blitz Harden. On top, Harris, 3. One of the top 3. Shot clock down to 10. Harden with it, 3 of 6 so far. 8 points, takes it in, collides and
put it in Bruce Brown. So they're finding ways and starting to understand one another defensively.
No. Batted by Jordan, but right back to the Lakers. And here comes LeBron.
Damian Lillard. Wow. I mean, but what LeBron has done with all the injuries, and he has shown us all who the king is, Kevin.
Has indeed. Nets are plus 12 points from three. They go Irving in the game. Wabu Cabarro is out. And here comes Kuzma. And Harden will push the issue inside. Kept alive, offensive ball, new shot clock, but taken by LA. Numbers 2-on-1. And the feed defeated on Anthony Davis. So much was designed for him. Now that changes a bit. Harris with another three.
Bangon mo, boy.
Kyrie's played 14 minutes and has 5 points. Harris, corner three. God, it was praying that they're being very careful with.
Absolutely, because this is your franchise and your future star who's going to bring you.
Ay lang, kawag tangang signal.
Out to Harden with 12 points and 8 assists. Kyrie on the fly. Tippy got it.
Top teams. The Jazz have gone right through. And they play a lot like this Brooklyn team. Shoot a lot of threes, and they're very effective from behind that arc.
Kyrie with 9. Stops on a dime. LeBron inside with a fingerless spin out of it. Harden had it. Lost it. Kuzma saves it. That's exactly what he's been doing. Those defensive loose balls, he's been terrific. It was Caldwell Post. So when Markieff Morris has come in for the Los Angeles Lakers. It's the first time we've seen him tonight. LeBron fadeaway, green to back now. 14 points, 8 assists, 1 turnover for James. Harris, 3. Got it.
This team, there's only one basketball. These guys understand how to play with one another and how to win. As another three here by the Brooklyn
lead once again to 17. They've led by 19. And a rebound inside by Wesley Matthews. Here comes LeBron right into Green. 1-2 throughout these 4 consecutive wins. And this is something they want to hang their head on. Oh, my goodness, throw shooting. Oh, LeBron.
The West and Kevin Durant in the East.
Oh, look at that. Nice spin movement. Yes. Shot clock down to 6. James will carve and fire. LeBron. Irving has got 10. Short there. Brown. And Luwawu. Kuzma with a drive. Kuzma driving heavy inside. Knocked away, stolen. Here comes Harden on the break with that great vision. Luwawu Cabarro, 3. Player 2. He has had 3 consecutive seasons scoring 30 points or more.
Oh, no.
Here he comes.
What do you do? I mean, this is firepower at its best.
Kuzma, the bump and the fire in the game-winning streak. They won 3 straight on the road. Pull up, 2
on the floor. Now it's his turn to take over.
Caruso throws it away. Luwawu Cabarro will get it. Kyrie, look at the ball rotation. Shaman, 3. Got it.
Harden is able to do with the basketball. Is going to set up beautifully Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving
because he is 20. Final minute is ticking off here in the 3rd. Here comes James making a move. Durant misses his 12th game of the season. Inside led the NBA in three-point shooting a couple years ago. Last year it was 7th. This year is 4th. Harden tried.
Well, first of all, you got to remember it's a popularity contest, right? It's not going by your stats and so forth. It's, you know, who's...
No, I Homer here. Homer. Caruso. And we just throws it away. Green. By the Nets a couple of years ago in the playoffs. Crossover here. Horton Tucker will take things. Nash has done is played a lot of guys. Played a lot of players.
other two. I mean, just imagine once they get the big three back and offensive team in the league.
Dribbles on, he's got to be a little bit rusty. He's not played this year. Cook on the fly, 85%, and this is the third best free throw shooting team at 82%. Tried by Cook, fifth consecutive win. They had lost the previous three. The Nets win their fifth consecutive game.
Ay, no.
A game and a half back in Philadelphia in the East. The Los Angeles Lakers, 2 games. First for the Brooklyn Nets, no DeAndre Jordan tonight. So Golden State Warriors currently in the 8th spot in the West.
And they all shoot free throws well, so you can't be physical or foul them. And then you've got guys like Joe Harris spreading the floor.
With all their centers out with injuries, Harden comes up with a steal, took it away from Curry, throws it ahead to Durant. Durant gets inside, layup, missed it. Brown right there on
downs, 10 screens on the ball, and Durant's done a terrific job.
Toscano Anderson fakes, drives, left-handed layup. It's good. 5. Durant, shuffle pass inside to Brown, blocked. Toscano Anderson on Durant, blows by and gets inside, lefty layup, missed it, but Brown right there on the follow.
But when both teams are so tiny right now, as Curry unloads a three, when you
Oubre drives on Brown, leans in. The left-hander gets his own rebound, goes back up and banks it home.
Yan!
Oubre starting to come on. He had just a horrible start to the season.
Makita mukha ko.
Harden swishes a three.
Makita nyo.
Irving trying to stop Toscano Anderson, uses his footwork, left-handed, slaps it up and in.
By Toscano Anderson.
Starting his 6th straight game as Irving. The NBA in assists per game, over 11 assists per game. Nice find to Brown, and Brown throws it down. 6 Toscano Anderson, high arcing three.
3 million in the house. 3 million in the house. Big love shoutout. Salamat sa limit.
3 years here. 2 championships, 2 NBA Finals MVPs. As Wiggins' jumper is good over James. A 2-point lead early for Brooklyn as we're just past the halfway point. Durant just inside the arc. Gets his last year, missed the entire season. As Draymond Green kicks it out. Oubre left open. And Oubre knocks it down. Draymond Green's been on a
Hindi yan ang pintana kaya parang signal. Signal.
So tied together offensively with Steph Curry. That's not a set play. Just recognizing the overplay and finding one to back cut.
That's too strong. Jeff Green back to Durant. Crossover. Toscano Anderson blocks.
Kalakad ako, kaya antokin ako. Pag di ako magtambay lang ako. Antok.
Goes inside, reverse. And able to back it. Navarro kicks it out to Shannon. Nice drive to the basket. Whoa, Navarro off the glass. Curry gets inside. He had with Rachel. He said, I apologize for how it went down leaving Houston, but I had to do what I had to do to get where I wanted to go with Draymond Green this year, but moving forward. Andrew Shannon throws across the green.
He also gave them credit, coach, as an organization for.
It came to that because, you know, you just never win those trades if you're the team giving away greatness.
When you talk about Drain, I would say at times, Game 6, Game 7, carrying the team against as Kevin Durant knocks down the shot.
You know, everyone wanted him to give an excuse.
Green to Curry, Curry off the glass.
I mean, everything. I mean, the comfort level of playing together is, you know, paramount at this stage. Just getting to know each other. I think they're trying to break all habits.
Really embraced the challenge of being the guy who guards the opponent's best player. Tries another three. This one goes down. And leads to help.
I liked how Pascal switched up and into the ball.
Durant nails a three-pointer. Pascal drives, gets inside. Good move, but just couldn't finish. Well, Cameron throws it down. Bazemore drives on Durant, goes hard, layup. Sweet reverse move. Joe Harris, little ball fake, get himself free, and nails the three-pointer. That's his shooters in all of basketball, Joe Harris has become. Inside the arc is Wiggins.
More importantly, they have to do the right things.
Stolen by Bazemore. Bazemore with Irving ahead of him, gets inside, lays it up and in.
Turn into those wiry veterans that play that role. You look at Draymond Green, he impacted guys like Jared Jack, who's spent it out.
Curry cutting off the ball. Layup is good on a beautiful bounce back. It's just 1 of 6 from downtown so far here tonight. Harden gets inside, lays it up and in. Harden, nice feed inside to Brown. Draymond Green defended it well, but Brown got the rebound and put it back up and in. Couldn't get it to fall. Harden looking. Oh, nice feed again. Brown banks it home. 8 Golden State to 39% from the field so far. Brown, Tyler Johnson. Johnson connects on a three.
That's doing it. He just got Wiggins a wide open three that he missed.
Durant spots up. The rebound, Kyrie Irving off the miss.
Draymond Green is down.
He's grabbing that right leg.
Tyler Johnson throws up the three. That won't go. Irving tips it.
Other than that, the Warriors got to be aware and take a foul.
Nobody's doing it right now as Irving knocks down the shot, and now the timeout. That's Draymond Green. You can see, obviously, in some pain, holding onto that right leg.
Back into a little 2-3 zone, trying to disrupt the Nets offensively.
Harden left open. That's a three. James Harden now with 10 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, and it's a 16-point lead. Toscano Anderson gets inside on a nice feed.
Put him through all of the steps there, and they decided he was good to go. He actually ran back out onto the court, so you can see he's playing okay.
Thanks, Rachel. Kelly Oubre, good aggressive move to the bucket. He's got 9 points, 8 rebounds. Irving's. And once again, Bruce Brown runs the middle of the floor in transition.
With all due respect to DeAndre Jordan and what he brings to the table.
Durant searching for an opening pass inside, finds its way to Harris, and he banks it in. Talk about Irving missed a game recently with a sprained finger, but as Toscano Anderson and Oubre on the follow throws it down.
Good job attacking the offensive boards.
Joe Harris slept open. Doesn't miss many of those. So, 2 very important front court players for them still remain out. Kyrie Irving steps back and hits a three-pointer. Largest lead of the game right now. Curry cuts, layup is good. As Draymond Green connects, Curry takes a tumble. Durant helps him up. Irving, a little shake and bake off the glass. Oubre, now with 11 points, 10 rebounds, his 3rd straight double-double. That's a nice feed from Curry. Oubre kept going and is rewarded. Down the other end, Brown and the foul. Bruce
Green sub for Brown. You find that interesting? I wonder how many colors have been on that. Oh, what a catch and pass.
How many people picked that up? Curry floats it up and in. 20 points.
Harden had like 4 or 5 highlight passes, like right there.
Oh, that's just gorgeous. That's a difficult one.
They're just carving up the switch. Green's doing a good job getting behind the switch.
Oh, Curry with a gorgeous move. This lethal offensive firepower of Brooklyn. Durant, step back jumpers. Shot it. Durant off the dribble. Oh, difficult shot.
They're proud of it.
Well, that's saying a lot. He's just
Nangangapit bahay ako.
spectacular, guys.
Well, there's no argument about his skill. There's no argument about
Kakaantok
ability to finish at the rim. He's a great player. Kevin Durant is 7 feet tall and has the ability to do everything. But this guy there's no question about how special Kyrie Irving is as a basketball player.
You know who's a great player too? Rod Strickland.
I was going to say,
Rob
I was so
Strickland.
fortunate. Jack
Ay,
played
makita
with
ko yung mga abliyan
Coming to practice every day, having to face that guy.
Abintana.
Damian Lee, three-pointer.
Nagtawad ka, o may duty kong diretso na tulog.
2 hot dogs before the game and then go drop 30.
Kevin Durant with an easy swing.
He's putting up similar numbers as a good
Chaud,
steal
chaud.
by Walu Cabarro.
Sweet. You have to wait for the season to develop. But Curry is certainly there, as is Damian Lillard. Nice feet inside to Damian.
No, but it's not a bunch of guys in there. There's about 5 of them that have separated themselves in this first half of the season, in my opinion.
Why do you want to wait to see all the games when you can just see a fraction of them and make declaration?
The Warriors have been a very good defensive team. Harden back-to-back three-pointers.
They found out that they're going to be a switching team. I wonder if they're also going to be a small team. Right?
Ay, ay.
Exit the guard on the 23rd.
Ay, nako, na to.